Hey y'all, welcome back to Roots Refuge. I'm in the garden today. I'm enjoying this is my perfect gardening day. Like, not today, but these conditions. It's overcast, warm enough with a nice breeze. Like you could work out here for hours and just hardly break a sweat, or at least for me. I mean, I can handle it when it's real hot. It's gonna be hot this week, but it's perfect today. My garden work days are hard to film because I flit. I go from task to task. Like I just weeded about, I don't know, 5 square feet of the cottage garden, and then I came over here and moved the table, and then I watered the plants, then went over, weeded some more, then I filled the fountain. You know, that's just kind of how it goes. So I don't know what this video is going to be like, but I figured I would just have my camera out here and be able to pull you all in and tell you things here and there. Right now the highlight to me in the garden is the irises. They're all blooming. Here are some of my favorites on this little row right here. This may be my favorite iris. This pretty pink one with the orangey beard. But I have lots of pretty ones. And I get so excited every year as new ones open up. Of course, I'm excited about the irises because they're currently what is opening up. Next will be the roses. I mean, I have some roses, but not all of them. I need to go turn the fountain on. Here's a couple more. Aren't these fascinating? And then of course the dark purple that looks, I have one that looks more black that blooms up by the house, but this one's also still beautiful. So I went into a local store that sells plants the other day, and I bought some flats of annuals and bed plant. You know, I don't usually do a ton of that. And of course we start a lot of things from seed, like zinnias and cosmos and all those things, but I did go ahead and grab some bed plants, and I'm going to go through and fill up all these containers that I have. I have a few things in them, like that's marjoram, and then that's like a fountain grass. That's a little oxalis that's popping up. Some of you guys gasp that I have this like on purpose in my garden. It's not a bully here. It doesn't take over. But I've just got like some petunias, coleus, snapdragons. I did get some different marigolds. Of course, I have lots of seeds, but I'm just going to pop those around. I'm just going to flit and fill in the spaces. I know a lot of times you have to do gardening in unideal conditions. You just got to suck it up and do the job. You have to hold yourself to a task and finish it till it's done. But every once in a while, I'll be in the middle of a good audiobook and be able to put my headphones in on a perfect weather day with no time commitments pulling me away. And I will be able to just flit around my garden doing 10 minutes of this task and 10 minutes of that task, and it fills my soul up so greatly. I have a garden visitor. You're bringing my paperwork to the garden. I like this arrangement.
Well, I knew you weren't going to come back to the house.
Oh, I'm getting a little sunshine. Today is the perfect day. What am I signing?
Locking our construction rate so we can close.
It is time. Alright guys, it's later in the afternoon. I've changed clothes. I'm not trying to be a diva or anything. I just spill stuff on myself a lot. So I am back out in the garden. I went back in the house for a little while. Maya's out here with me, and he is about to help me with some of the heavy lifting because I have a lot of containers I need to fill soil up in, and it'll just go faster with both of us, and especially with him because he's just a lot stronger than I am. But first he's picking up all the trash because Jeremiah does not like starting work in a space until it's tidy. Unfortunately for him, he's married to me, and so he has to deal with a lot of untidiness, I'm afraid. Jeremiah, as you pick up my messy garden, you proposed to me 13 years ago today.
Still a good choice.
I'm glad you think so. We've been together for 14 years, but we got married. Our anniversary is on the 26th. We got engaged. We went to a Corey Smith concert. He's a guy that makes music out of Georgia, and when we first started dating, we were listening to him all the time, and we went to a concert. He came to a place there in Central Arkansas, and afterwards we went for a walk down by the river in Little Rock, Arkansas, and Jeremiah got down on one knee and proposed. And then we spent the next, I don't know, week or so. We knew we were going to get married before then. We had discussed it. Like, we were not dating casually. We had small children. We were not casual. That's the best way I know how to put it. So it wasn't like we started the marriage discussion when we got engaged. But we started really looking at the logistics of having a wedding when we got engaged, and decided that we did not want to do that. We did not want to go that route and throw a very expensive party since we already had small children. So we then eloped. Let's see, today's the 17th. Our anniversary is the 26th. So we eloped 9 days later. And I moved in that day.
Short engagement.
And we started our life together. Yeah, that is a very short engagement. But I would say it worked out. Here you are cleaning the garden you built for me.
It worked out for you? It worked out good.
It worked out good. So I got a new table for my garden. Last year I just had like a really little cheapo table I found at a thrift place for like 10 bucks. And it served the purpose, but it wasn't very pretty. It's over there. I'm actually going to go put it in front of the house where I grill, just to have a surface. But I got this for $60, which I was super excited about. And it's like an outdoor table. So, I don't know. It was kind of a one-off situation to find such a good deal, but I was very excited to have it. That's risky. Alright, so Maya's filling my green stalks up for me. I just use Bacto potting soil. I don't have anything going on with that brand or anything. It's just what I've used for a really long time. It's an organic potting soil, and I can buy it by the pallet from my local feed store. Anytime I mention something like that, people will ask me about purchasing. Like, they'll go online and look for where they can buy it online. Don't overpay ever for any brand. I don't care who says it. Any brand of potting soil is not worth paying astronomical prices for. That's roughly $10 a bag, buying it by the pallet at a local feed store. So it's an investment I make at the beginning of every year. I buy a pallet of potting soil. One day I won't have to do that. One day I'll have everything established. But as it is right now, with all the pots I fill and the beds and the containers I need to top off, I've done that. I use it for seed starting also. I don't use any sort of special seed mix. But if I didn't have that available to me, I would not pay astronomical prices for it. I would just find something else. I also use this. This is a local product. This is South Carolina made, and it's called Stout Ollie Mater Maker Compost, and that's what the other pallet was. I have really liked this. I don't know how far it is available. I know it is available here in South Carolina, often through like feed stores and stuff. I think you can buy it directly from them. But I have had really great success with this, and so this is something that I've started doing. Like this garden bed here, we did put some compost down in this at the end of last season, remulched it, and I'd planted some parsnips that never came up. I think that we had the hard freeze after. Maybe they came up and then didn't. I can't remember what happened. But so what I'm doing here is pushing my mulch aside. You can see these seeds. I just dropped some squash seeds in each one of these holes. I didn't dig a hole. I just moved the mulch aside and dropped the squash seeds. You can see every one of these holes has squash seeds in it. Anytime I'm using potting soil or compost in the garden, even if it came in a bag, I always throw it into a bucket. Just makes it easier so I don't have to fool with moving the bag around or fighting with the opening. So I'm just going to take a little spade and on top of these seeds just cover them with some compost. In short, what I'm doing here is planting and top dressing, feeding the soil a little bit. You might want to put more compost down if your soil is very depleted, but mine's not, so this is sufficient. So instead of putting the compost down and then poking a hole, I just do it this way. It probably doesn't make much of a difference, but this just makes sense to me. I accidentally rubbed the skin off of my fingers earlier because I was using a different shovel that the handle has gotten real rough because it's just old. And I was shoveling with it and I realized it was kind of hurting. I never garden in gardening gloves because I'm always like, yeah, it's fine. But I might have to start. I've hurt my hands multiple times this year not wearing gloves. Now, each one of these spots, I put 2 squash seeds just in case I don't get germination from both. When they come up, I'll pinch one of them off when they get a few inches high so that they're thinned. If I am direct sowing seedlings, I usually do sow just a slight bit heavier than I necessarily would inside, just because they're gonna face more risks out here with insects and birds and all that. Isn't it crazy? We'll be harvesting this summer squash in about a month and a half. It only takes like 45 to 50 days. I think that's awesome. Man, you did that fast. That would have taken me so much longer. Thank you. I'm gonna have my 4 green stalks in the corners. They'll be filled with strawberries and tomatoes. What do you say, dear? It's pink. It's so cute. Why are pink things so happy and thrilling?
No. Oh my gosh, that's the cutest.
It is just begging to have strawberries in it.
Oh, absolutely.
My sister-in-law just walked up. Hey, KK.
Hello.
I feel like people either get it with pink or they don't.
Oh, 100%. Either it's like your favorite thing and everything's pink, or you absolutely hate it.
And
you can't stand it.
it's not just a girl thing either,
No.
because like Noah loves to wear pink.
Yeah.
Like your dad loves to wear pink. Like people either love pink or they don't. You're not a pink fan, are you? You don't mind that, do you? Or it's not your favorite? Yeah. You like the green ones. That's right. Hey, it's fine. Everything doesn't have to be for everybody. We are different. It's funny because I've seen a lot of people discussing the pink, and people either love it or they're like, definitely not for me. It's for me. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm gonna order that. I just knew it. This is officially the brightest thing in my garden. I guess it matches those roses over there. I mean, the flowers are bright, but I didn't do tons of bright colors in this garden. I was actually discussing that on a podcast recently with my friend Jeremy, because he does landscape design. And we were talking about how a garden space reflects you. I mean, ideally. Like, if you're really pouring your heart into a garden and you're trying to create a space, not just create like a functional food growing garden, but if you're actually trying to create an outdoor space that design is, very thought out, it's going to reflect you. I was kind of talking about how when we built our first garden in Arkansas, I was in my 20s and everything was like super bright, super loud. And I've always loved that. I joke, I'm covered in color. I love colorful things so much that I wanted to be one. Like, I love colorful things. Well, we went through a lot. Jeremiah's mom passed away in 2018, and that was a great grief. It still is. I mean, it is still a great grief. And my health, the bottom kind of fell out on my health. I just dealt with a tremendous amount of pain. I had to confront a lot of hopelessness that I had, and I mean, just through some years of COVID happened, just changed the world that we live in. There was just a period of some really heavy stuff, and then life has that. It's not a fault that you go through heavy stuff. And then we moved here and we started this garden, and just in that few-year period had gone through a lot of processing. And I come here and everything was black. And of course then the color kind of started to creep back in. And I love this garden because it is a reflection, and I'm not the same person as I was whenever we designed that first garden. Of course, you see that color, you see it all in here, and obviously I still very much love that. And it's popping back up in loud ways. But there's also kind of this, I don't know, depth with the darkness that's there, and I think it makes the color pop even more, and that's such is life, you know? But whenever I first opened this bright pink, cheerful green stalk, I kind of was like, I haven't been drawn to something like that in a while, but when I saw this, I really liked it because I love pink. Bear, do you love pink? He's like, I love dinner, snuggles, chasing birds, but probably not pink. So Maya's gonna stick the little water reservoirs in between and stack these up. I feel like I probably need to let my tomatoes harden off just a little bit more, my little dwarf tomatoes, before I plant these, so I'm not gonna plant them this evening. I've got this tray sitting out here. I actually have another tray in there I need to go grab. I'm just gonna let them sit out here for the rest of the evening, and then in the morning, and then I'll move them under the pavilion so that they're shaded. Do that for a couple of days, and then I will fill up that green stalk with these. So I actually just took this one apart, and I was about to start doing my like refreshing the container stuff. I'm actually going to shoot a separate video just to stand alone so it's searchable, so it's not buried on the back end of a vlog. But to tell you guys what I'm going to do, I'll show you in that video. Any container that you've already grown in and maybe been sitting empty over the winter, the soil can get pretty depleted, and then also can get hydrophobic where it's just not absorbing water easily. And sometimes it helps to like soak those containers in water, like if you have a kiddie pool or something. I actually need to pick up some kiddie pools to set out here just for like hardening off seedlings where I can set them in water and stuff. But what I'm gonna do for these, because this soil's not terrible, the top is pretty dusty, but when you dig down in, you get to the point, it's dry right now, but it's not like dried out. You can see that. I'm trying to show you the difference between, the top part is probably a little dried out. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is get a 5-gallon bucket. I'm gonna put some emulsion fertilizer in it, just a little bit. I'm gonna water these really well, and then I'm gonna pour that fertilizer mixture into them, so give it a boost, and then I'm going to top them off with the Mater Maker compost, and then I'll probably let them sit open like this for a couple of days and just make sure that I'm soaking them, watering them really well every day, and then I'll stack them back up and plant them. Thank you, Maya. You are sweet, Maya.
I'm the sweet green stalk filter, Maya.
Alright, so over here I've got some eggplants. What you're seeing here is that there was mulch down. I made holes. This is the soil that I pulled up out of those holes. I just threw it on top. But you can see here, this is just a hole with a plant stuck in it. So what I do in a situation like this is I'll put my plant in and then backfill with my compost. So I'm amending. The plant has this rich nutrition all the way around it, but I'm not having to move all of my mulch. I'm not having to, you know, haul a whole lot of compost. And this is, of course, something you can do really anytime you're planting. You can just put compost in the hole with your plant or your seeds. Now, if you have a really, really depleted soil, you may want to do more, but in a lot of cases, this is enough. So a lot of times what we're doing is like moving the mulch, just trenching. If the soil is low on the bed, maybe we'll pull all the mulch off and bring like a few inches on all the way across. But a lot of times it's just not necessary. This is enough. Hello, boys.
Hey, Mom. Hello.
I just saw 3 cute boys coming down the driveway. Y'all are going fishing?
Yeah, we're going to set up these rods. Can we set them up here?
Sure.
And this is going to be the one I'm going to use. They're going to probably try to use something else.
Yeah,
but I'm so excited.
That one yet? Brand new, huh?
It looks really good. It was from Christmas.
Oh, yeah, that was in your stocking, huh? You forgot about it.
Yeah. I'm ready to go.
Cool. Yeah. Hey, if you open things and leave trash, please gather it up and put it over there in that bucket. Thank you. All right, y'all. I am about to head in the house. I have to cook dinner. It was a productive day of flitting around the garden, though. I did lots of tiny jobs. I'll show you all the progress later. Thank you for hanging out with me today.
We bless you until next time.
We do.